Do you remember these guys? Dorian, a Kaio who beat up a few of the boys, got brain damage from Retsu, then mysteriously became a candy enjoying super swole painter. Doyle, a mad lad who was blinded after taking a few beatings and decided to deafen himself to transcend even more, I guess. Sikorsky, the Russian who got to see the might of Jack Hanma and the horrors of Gaia. To such a degree, he started the ultimate bromance with him in an ongoing side manga. He also sleeps like this to train. Yanagi, someone who has impacted the story more than most characters, as the person who took Goki's eye, caused Baki to go to China, and was even the one to kill Kozue's father. And Spec, he's from Florida and is a very old man. These guys are known as the most evil death row inmates, and more than ever before, we have a chance for them to actually return to the main story, namely the current ongoing manga known as Baki Rahen. This is because in recent chapters we've had a few character returns into the light for the hope of fighting the antagonist of this arc, Jack Hanma. For example, we had the Cord Cutter return and have a sparring match against Doppo, proceeding to be set up as Jack's next opponent, and now an ongoing fight against this guy, who goes by the name Hanada and is another returning character, this time from all the way back at the start of the series, Grappler Baki. Both of them have demonstrated to be much stronger now, with the Cord Cutter making Doppo bleed and Katsumi to stop the sparring before it gets too crazy, Hanada countering Hanayama's Giga Punch, knocking him to the ground long enough to run away without Hanayama even noticing, with it being important to note that Hanayama is a monster right now in the story, or I guess more so than he has been previously, and Doppo is still relevant. Now, since the prisoners haven't made an appearance in the main storyline of the manga in so long, and as some of the fan favourite characters in all of Baki, I think having them come back now stronger than ever before would be perfect. We have other low tier characters showing insane improvements, now it's their turn. This is mainly considering a full side manga was created to showcase the prisoners training or getting ready to actually return. This is known as Revenge Tokyo, 5 chapters, and was even adapted into an anime episode by Netflix to include at the end of one of the seasons. Naturally, this did confuse a lot of the anime onlys thinking they would return in the next arc. However, based on the manga since then, they haven't made an appearance, and this is technically separate from the main manga story. The prisoners have not made an appearance since that arc in the manga, outside of Dorian who appeared in the next arc, the Chinese or Kaio tournament. But regardless of all that, we have a question. How strong would these monsters be if they return to the story now? Before that, if you want various benefits while supporting the channel directly, consider becoming a member. All information on screen now. For Dorian, we have an interesting situation, mainly due to the brain damage done to him by Retsu, turning him mentally into a small child again. However, in his Revenge Tokyo chapter, it's claimed he has gained 20 kilos since beginning his rehabilitation here, but can we really call this rehabilitation? The reality of the matter is nothing so simple as rehab. It is preparation. Preparation for something very big, and let me tell you, our boy has gotten big. Naturally, this begs the question if he is fully recovered mentally and is displaying some type of act to remain in this better imprisonment position compared to the others, focusing more so on rehabilitation due to him not being viewed as a threat in any way. While in reality, he's fully conscious and is displaying an act slowly preparing, something in character for Dorian, as I've seen him do similar things throughout the prisoner arc. Furthermore, it seems like his raw power is going to go through the charts, and most likely his speed as well, with so much focus on his legs with his training. This will probably pair well with his other skills, the Chinese Kempo mastery, ability to use hypnosis, and of course the dirty fighting with him being next level, the wire, glass, grenades, etc. But I wonder who he would actually target part of the main cast. Since Retsu is dead, that is impossible. Maybe Doppo Orochi as the person he faced the most during the prisoner arc. Katsumi could work as well, as he was clowned on by Dorian, and could be a way to bring forward his Chinese Kenpo in the story. Perhaps Kaito pulls up on Dorian again, someone we've seen of recent being kinda trained by Motobe, most likely getting stronger as well. Maybe his bulk is to take on Oliver after he took Dorian to the Chinese tournament to get beat up even more. Maybe he remembers all of this after gaining his mental abilities back. This could be very interesting stuff. When it comes to Spec, it seems to be mostly getting back to his original position power-wise, as an old man, but could be connected to Imagination, one of the most broken abilities throughout the entire Baki story. Naturally, this is kinda shown with the insanity of his Imagination training. He's probably getting stronger with this as well. This in combination with his insane combo ability due to his breathing technique, and already displayed incredible physical strength as he was able to crack the Statue of Liberty, I do think he's going to be even more deadly. I only really imagine him going for Hanayama as more so revenge, but it is Spec we're talking about. He could really do anything, a wild card to a degree, and I would like to see him face various other characters, maybe Doppo Orochi or even Goki will be pretty cool. Doyle I'm very interested in. After being blinded by Yanagi and captured by Oliver, during his time in prison he revealed that he obtained a great treasure to take the place of light, this being sound or his hearing ability being increased to make up the difference, a real thing that occurs when you lose a main sense. However, for some reason he decided to destroy his own eardrums, deafening himself as well, demonstrating that in his new state he can still catch these bats flying around his cell, and praised his skin or flesh, making me think Doyle has transcended in some way, or he's just going crazy, who knows. Regardless, I could see him having another crazy fight with the Cord Cutter, as that happened during the prisoner arc. A rematch would be pretty badass. He's also very different to the other prisoners regarding his character arc, in a way of changing after taking an insane beating from Katsumi, meaning revenge on the other prisoners like Yanagi is more likely for his character, or maybe just Oliver as they had various exchanges and Oliver did do this to him at the end when he was greatly injured. We also got a hinted fight between him and Jack. If you remember back during his clash with Retsu, Jack pretty much saved him by knocking out Retsu. This was due to him wanting to fight Doyle himself. However, as we know, that never happened during the arc, and considering if they were to return in the current manga arc, Baki Rahen, Jack is the antagonist. This has been foreshadowed long ago. I guess having that finally happen would be cool. For Sikorsky, I don't really know what to expect. He seems to be just increasing his already insane pinch strength. Perhaps him fighting Alexander Garland again for his return as well, who as a quick reminder is a character that appeared during the Maximum Tournament out of nowhere, and took out a injured Hanayama before being defeated by Jack Hanma during the tournament. However, he was the first person to really push Jack during the Maximum Tournament as well. After that, we learned that Sikorsky defeated him after escaping the first time. Not killed as many are misinformed about, but greatly injured and hasn't made a return since, so these two clashing stronger than ever before would be pretty cool. This is more so going to replace Jack vs Sikorsky, as I don't think you really need to get that again. This in combination with the slice of life spin-off manga for Guy and Sikorsky that's currently coming out with regular chapters. In one of these chapters, we had a cameo of Garland and Sikorsky, both being scared by Jack, a very badass scene, I'm not gonna lie. Of course, this isn't canon to the main story, to something pretty goofy. However, we do see various instances of Sikorsky having PTSD from his clash with Gaia in the main story, and I think if he was to return, he would probably have a similar thing. Man got absolutely traumatized. Lastly, we have Yanagi. So as I mentioned at the start of the video, he was the one who killed Kozue's father, someone we've never seen in the main Baki story. but this was actually revealed in another ongoing spin-off manga, Urenchi, which goes over the story of Katsumi's older brother, who is also a powerhouse in his own right, with the story going over how Yanagi was captured the first time. As if you think about it, the prisoners were all captured within cells at the start of the arc in the manga, meaning they would have had to be defeated or captured before all of this. Naturally, this manga will be providing more feats for Yanagi, on top of his Revenge Tokyo chapter showing him with a hook and escaping from the prison again. Not really any training per se that we got to see. However, those may not be needed considering his already very broken abilities. For example, his Way of the Void martial art that can knock people out instantly, poison that is insanely deadly, and Motobe making this statement about Yanagi: "You've mastered so many more techniques than I could ever hope to." An insane statement, with it being implied that Yanagi wasn't really on top of his game during that fight, probably due to losing a 2v1 with Sikorsky against Baki. But to defeat Yanagi in the prison arc, we had a weaponed up Motobe, who we got to see the full capabilities of later in the story, and then Yujiro to land the finishing blow. He has past beef with various characters, for example Goki as the one who took his eye in a previous match, Doyle who could very well come for him after being blinded, and many more. I could imagine Baki going for him as well. So for Yanagi, there's a lot of possibilities, and of course he's very dangerous. However, I don't know what he's going to do with his hook though. Let me know what you think about that down below. I think it's safe to say if the prisoners were to return in the current story, they will be much stronger and have major impact on a lot of the characters, and I believe it would give a lot of the lower tier characters or characters that aren't part of the Hanma tree a chance to really shine and I guess train up before they have a crack at Jack. I wonder how the prisoners would react to the likes of Pickle. Pretty interesting stuff. But do you think they will return? Do you think they should return? Leave a comment, subscribe for more, and shout out to the member Mad Lads.